So hey guys, a savior. They say that this is a savior here, and don't you guys find this a bit odd? Look at this picture. You know, this is the Day of the Dead or something like that. They're celebrating in one of the Spanish countries. But look, what an odd picture. A very sympathetic man wearing a cape and a big S on his chest, which obviously doesn't stand for Yeshua or Buddha or Allah, but S is the very first letter of Satan, actually. And I'm not saying that that's what it is, but the red, the blue, and the white man. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, but I just think it's very strange. When you think about this whole idea of a form of a man being revered as highly as what they would call a god. Now, we seem to have this as a very prevalent theme all throughout the recorded history. And, I'm kind of like, I want to say, caught between both places, because I do believe that if there is such a thing as God, right, that God could manifest as human, in human form. I kind of believe that if God wanted to do that, God would. But then again, I also believe that God is everything, the entire universe, unmanifested and manifest. So I believe that God is everything, and everything is intelligent. It would be the only thing that makes some kind of sense logically. If we were to strip away the idea of something that gives us life from the very fabric of life, that would make no logical sense. And there's a lot of people that seem to try to differentiate God from its own creation, which really doesn't make any sense. Now, the reason I say that is not because that everybody has the omnipotence and the power and the grandeur and the greatness of God itself, but yet we are a part of this great entity, this great being, whatever it is, that has created us. It would only make sense that we are part of the entire parcel, right? And then we go back, this goes right back to the Elohim, right? And the other words that they have, and a lot of other languages as well, that represent God in the plural form, with no gender attached to it, guys. God is not a gender, okay? Humans, however, can be gendered because we're humans. If we did come in the form or in the image of what God is, image can stand for a few things, can it? An image is just a depiction of something. We may not be the real thing, but we're an image of the real thing, which makes us illusory in nature. If you think about it that way, if we're an image of something, we're just an illusion, a depiction of something that is real. And that's what I really think that means. So I say you have to listen to these words and play on them. All these scholars will have you go into all these long, detailed explanations of just a lot of caca and BS. And I think everything can be simplified into a place where we can look at these things and actually have a realization that, yeah, if we were to look at the plural version of the word Elohim from the Hebrew language and the Arabic, and Aramaic language also has Ilah and Ilaha. All these words are all in the plural essence, no gender attached to it. We could see that if we as the word we there, right? If we are depicted in our God's image, that means we are only a depiction, an illusory effect of the original thing, right? That usually, when you get some kind of image, or they use that word image, I have to look the word up to find out exactly what the Hebrew is, and I guarantee you there's a connection to the source of light, which would form an image. Usually light is needed to form an image, whether to see it or whether to create it, one or the other. And, given that idea alone, if we were to just take it for what it is if God said in the beginning, let there be light, that was part of the creation time. Think about that, guys. He said, let there be light. That means that darkness had to have been first. Am I not mistaken? So that means that darkness was God. God had to have been in a dark space of some sort to say, let there be light. Otherwise, he would have no need. He would not have a need to say, let there be light. So when we look out into the cosmos, we look out into the universe, and if you guys don't know this, it's made up primarily of dark matter. Those little bits of sunlight, stars that you see twinkling cannot even fill up the entire universe with light. Otherwise, the entire universe would be daytime forever. And you have to think about that. Why? Because if you go into people use the analogy, if you take even a candle into a dark room, the entire room lights up. That doesn't work in the physics of space, guys. So that analogy is completely put to rest when you're dealing on the interstellar level of things, when you're out in space, because there's dark matter that surrounds everything. Maybe that realm in that dark matter is where God rests, where God originated from. Maybe, or God was always there in that form. So whenever he creates the worlds, he has to go through the stages of creating light for us illusory images to live in, because we cannot exist in that darkness. We can only exist in the same place that actually, which is, I'm not saying that there's a correlation, there may or may not be, but in the same place who they call the Prince of Light, which is Satan, they also call Christ the Prince of Light. That's been known, the morning star. It's the same term. Morning star and Prince of Light is the exact same term. They both mean illuminated one. Now, if you were to look at that and say illuminated one, you see how many movies and how many ideas they throw out at children about an illuminated human being that represents all of humanity, that's willing to save all of humanity. And I don't mean to be funny here, guys, but a lot of the times that they show this, they don't tell you that the people that have tried to destroy this world, the humans, have all been kind of so-called illuminated in some way. However, you can take that however you want it, but I'm sure there are people out there that understand where I'm coming from here. I realize that I can't come out and say anything bluntly anymore. I'll leave it to your interpretation what that is. There's a problem that we're living with here on planet Earth in this realm, and all the things I just said before, only some of you are going to grasp the concepts and the ideas and go with it. But I'm not challenging any scholar to any debate on any ancient texts. I'm saying that, hypothetically speaking, if we were to put all these pieces of knowledge together, they all have some deeper meaning, guys. Follow the trajectory of what I'm telling you. That if God said, let there be light, that means that darkness was first. That means that God was the darkness. In order for us to be here in his image, there had to have been light. Otherwise, we would not be able to have the manifested universe, the material world. The association made with the light is made with Christ and made with Satan. They're both beings of light. They both came from heaven. Both of them. One was fallen. The other one was crucified. Is one better than the other? I don't know, but the Bible and some people's interpretations say that one is better than the other. One was forsaken by his own father. In the moment of his greatest need, his father denied him. Then they say there was the resurrection 3 days after, which made him God. Now, in reality, if there is a God, and you already have one son who was sitting at your left side, and one was sitting at your right side, and the one wanted to be you, and he was cast out of heaven into earth and down into hell, which is on earth is on the way to hell, if you haven't noticed that, if you go by the Bible standards. So he was cast down into the earthly realms to have domain over the earth. Okay? That means he controlled everything on the earth. He was known as also the Prince of Light. The other one, Christ, was known as the Morning Star. They both have the same uh, context and the same meaning. They're beings of illumination. If you were to look at these things and really ask yourself at this point in this level, the crucifixion part, yes, he did get crucified. I believe that. The resurrection part, I'm having a hard time believing, because when he's resurrected, he now becomes God. So if your Father, who is God, forsake you for what you did, that means he turned his back on you at that moment. Then all of a sudden you turn around and then you become God? Guys, there seems to be a real strange story being told here that I think that really needs to be scrutinized a lot more. I think that a lot of the pieces of this puzzle are still hidden. And the only way that we can refute this is by having some kind of logic and some kind of way of really trying to assess all the information that we have and try and look at the universe around us and try and that's the only thing we have. It doesn't matter how many scholars or physicists or astrophysicists that you have. We all have something called common sense, and we all have intrinsic nature and understanding of what we are in our environment, in our reality. We all have some intrinsic knowledge that we will live and we will pass through this area, through this body, and go on into something else. All of us have that. Some of us do believe that we will exist after these bodies. I'm one of them. A lot of people don't know and they're unsure. The most dangerous people are the ones who are unsure, because they'll do anything to hold on to something that is impossible to hold on to, which are these bodies. So once you accept the reality that these things do not last forever, these what I call biological outfits, our bodies, they don't last forever. And people are having a hard time connecting that idea and understanding that it's depicting who we are and what our trajectory in this realm is, in this matrix, is that we are just passing through. There is no guy dressed up in a cape or an outfit that is eternal in essence, that's going to roam the universe forever with superpowers. There wasn't in the past, and there never will be, because there's not one right here, right now. And if people get past that idea, they'll see that the more important aspect of our lives is to really look at the divinity within each and every one of us and everything in the universe, and to treat everything with respect and love and understanding. That's a much easier feat done than to try and wait thousands of years for this Messiah to come back. Because between now and then, it's a no-holds-barred, guys. Between now and the return of whoever Savior, whatever Savior you're waiting for, people are going to do the most heinous and horrible things, relying on the fact that somewhere in the distant future, a man in a cape and an outfit, or whatever outfit that he's wearing, is going to come back and take out the entire world and bring heaven here on earth, which doesn't make any sense no matter which way you look at it, unless that heaven that they're talking about that's going to land in the Euphrates River in the Bible is an actual mothership. That's the only way this makes any sense, because this is where you tie in all the other ancient stories and they all point to some kind of mothership. And they all point to another race of beings from some other star system. But guys, I'll get into more of this stuff later on. I just wanted to put this out there for you guys to see and to really think and to use your own minds. And we should be allowed to probe into the deepest recesses of our minds and to try and expand our minds as much as we can. It doesn't make any sense to go through this world living with a closed mind, because we've seen on more than one occasion the outcome of what that does to a society. We are living historical proof of what that does to any society, and there has to be some kind of balance, and I think that's what we should work towards. But guys, I am the spiritual philanthropist. I am Rav Shiva, TSP, the spiritual philanthropist, Rav Shiva. So guys, I will see you in the next video. If you like what I do and like what I say, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And that helps the algorithms to help me to get heard, which I think people need to hear a fresh, new take on this, and just to use their minds and their hearts and to really allow themselves to question. Otherwise we're going to be so held to our opinions of what we think matters, and dependent on this outside interventional force for all of our problems, that we will never take care of them. We will never work collectively to do the wonderful things that we can do in humanity if we only believe in ourselves and believe that we can make things move. Just like Christ said, if you had just but a little faith, you would be able to actually make the mountains move from here to there. So guys, I'll see you in the next video.